Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to start by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rekakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopeful elect I came out there pushing this word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi has created us to do, so he can wake up and seal the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, and also you Israelites who are scattered amongst the heathen nations that may look like the heathen nations, but your father's seed line and your lineage goes back to you being a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, and Seminole Indian, one of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Hey, Shalom. It's your brother Halak here from the GMS Denver camp, coming back once again through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh shout another video. And we're going to start here in Psalm 68 and 17. It reads, "The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place." And this is going into the vehicles of the Almighty, the chariots, which this world has termed or called UFOs. You know, and this video was inspired by a video I have here from Dabu 7. Right, it's going into this 3-eye atlas. It says what emits strange heartbeat. Now, this is they've been tracking this for a few months now. You know, and it's being found out that this is not an asteroid, as they will have you believe. And we're here to let you know that this is not an alien vehicle. The only thing that's out there in the heavens is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and the angels. Aliens don't exist, as is being depicted here in Esau's Hollywood media, like grays and green men or what have you. But the vehicles that have been seen worldwide, you know, and now with this 3-eye atlas, whatever it may be, you know, we know it's a chariot. Now we know Esau has his blue beam technology or what have you, but we're here to let you know that these vehicles that have been seen worldwide, you had a few that have been popping up over Denver for the last few weeks. These are the chariots of the Lord, man. You see, and this is how the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, whose true name is Yahawashi, is returning back to the earth. So let's play this a little bit of this video. You know, and this is being used for educational purposes only. We're not using this to monetize or make any money off of it. It's just to show what's going on and give a true explanation of what these vehicles are. You see, because the world outside of the men of the Lord, they don't know. You see, they don't know. So we have to give you the true understanding of what these vehicles truly are.
Hey guys, Dabu 7. Some updates here on 3-eye atlas. As you can see here in the imagery, this is kind of a GIF here showing a heartbeat type of pattern. They're saying that has been detected off of Atlas, saying that when it shifts and it's off-gassing, it's giving off a pattern, and that it's spinning at a rate of a revolution per 16.16 hours exactly. And there's a long list of anomalies that go along with this. But this here, you can see kind of what they're talking about with this pattern, of how it keeps shifting and it almost looks like a heartbeat. And then we have the observations that were taken in October, that now when they look at them, they're saying that they reveal a structured core and traces of industrial grade metal, casting doubts even further here in terms of this thing is natural. We also have new images here, again, looking like a big sword, so to speak, in the sky. This was at the Kalopa stores in Hawaii. They caught this. Refined this 10x zoom on the left. And you can see that it's got this razor thin jet that comes out, and of course the anti-tail, and it's maintaining this as it's spinning. So this is what they can't explain. If it's spinning, then the jets should be moving, as I've explained and showed before. But they're not. They're staying stationary, one pointed toward the sun, an anti-tail, so to speak, and the other away. And it's carrying a composition still of water, small amounts of water that should have been long gone when it went around the sun. And a long list of anomalies here that we've covered time and time again. But with the new heartbeat type of pattern it's giving off, and the fact that it's spinning and the jets aren't spinning with it, are indeed strange characteristics. But I wanted to share some of the newer images and shots here with you guys. I'll dive into this in further detail on the next live stream. Join me going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here.
So you see, man. So let's get right into it, because the one the world calls Jesus Christ, whose true name is Yahawashi, he's returning back to this earth with an armada of so-called UFOs to take over this planet, to fully establish the throne of David, so everything can be put all in all under the Most High God, Yahweh. You see that? This is what's being done. So let's go here to Acts. We'll start with the ascension back into the heavens by our Lord Yahawashi. Now this is Acts chapter 1. And we'll start at verse 9. It says what? The ascension. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So this cloud that received our Lord back into the heavens was a so-called UFO, a chariot, right? Now, when you go on this word for cloud, here in the Greek, it goes into nephele.
Strong's G 3507. Nephele. Nephele.
Nephele, right? And it goes into what? Used of the cloud, which led the Israelites in the wilderness. So this same vehicle that beamed Yahawashi up is the same vehicle that led us in the wilderness. You see that pillar of a cloud by day and the light of a fire by night, that was talking about a chariot leading us 40 years in the wilderness. You see that? It's the same vehicle that took Yahawashi back into the heavens. Now, as we continue on in Acts chapter 1, it goes on to say in verse 10, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. And these 2 men are who? These 2 men are angels in white apparel, because they're completely pure and righteous. You see? Verse 11 says, which also said, ye men of Galilee. Acts 1 and 11, it's like it. Acts 1 and 11 says, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand you gazing up into heaven? This same Yahawashi, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. You see that? So the same way Yahawashi was taken up is the same way he's coming back. And it's not a coincidence that we're seeing these vehicles pop up worldwide, especially here in the land of America. It's a foreshadowing of Yahawashi's second coming. And we've been given the understanding of this, you see, for decades, talking about our apostles and elders. They've been going into this for decades, man. You see? And when we bring these things out, people look at us all strange. They believe that it can't be true. But what are the answers? You people don't have any. You're really sitting around believing, talking about the aliens are visiting the earth. There are no aliens. These vehicles that are being seen are being operated and maneuvered by the angels of the Most High. These are the Most High's vehicles. This is what he's sending his son back in to conquer the planet Earth, as is foretold all through our prophecy. You see? Let's jump into Revelation, right? 1 and 7, it says, behold, he, which is our Lord Yahawashi, cometh with clouds. The clouds being what? The chariots, the so-called UFOs. It says what? And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so let it be. Because when Yahawashi shows up with these vehicles, and because he's coming back with a fleet of so-called UFOs, man. He's coming back with a fleet of chariots. You see this? He's coming back to take over the world. He's coming back to take over the world and fully establish the throne of David in the earth, as we've been going into for the last few weeks now. You see, with combating this whole doctrine of universalism. The one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ is coming back with the clouds of heaven to establish the throne of David and to take all power away from you heathen nations. And once again, when you go into this word for cloud, it's also nephele.
Strong's G 3507. Nephele. Nephele.
You see that? It's the same word. Use of the cloud which led the Israelites in the wilderness. So this is how Yahawashi is coming. You see? And he's coming to do work. He's coming to judge in righteousness. You see that? And every eye shall see him. And that's a cut to the false doctrine of pagan Roman Catholic Christianity, which tells you when the Lord comes, he's coming to rapture people in the still of the night. Nobody's going to know that he's going to show up. He's just going to come and he's going to gather all the true believers, and those who don't believe him are going to be left. That's not according to the scriptures. It clearly tells you right here that every eye shall see him. This is going to be a worldwide event that everyone is going to witness. You see, the world is going to know, you see, when the second coming of the Lord happens. You see, it's going to be televised. Everybody's going to be looking up into the heavens as they see this gigantic chariot overshadow the earth. You see, with all the other chariots surrounding it, man. Everyone is going to witness this. You see? Let's go here. And this is one of my favorite to go into. It talks about what? The coming of Mashiach. You see? So Revelation 19:11, it says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. That white horse represents that chariot that Yahawashi is coming back on. White representing pure, horse representing power. So he's coming back with pure power, even as he has told you out of his own mouth. Matter of fact, let's show you real quick. This is Matthew 24, right? In verse 30 it says, and these are the words of our Lord Yahawashi. So he tells you out of his own mouth what he's coming to do. Matthew 24:30 it reads, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. You see that? And every eye is going to see him. You see that? That word for cloud right there is the same word we just went into, nephele. You see? Power and great glory, man. You see, beyond anything the world has ever seen before. You see how they can't put the pieces together with this three-eye atlas. So imagine when Yahawashi actually shows up. People are going to be in awe. People are going to be terrified. Some people, even Yahawashi tells us, some people are going to be dropping dead from what they're seeing happen. You see? But everybody will see Yahawashi coming back in the fullness of his glory with power, man. And what does he tell us he's going to do? So like for all these people talking about universal salvation, you see, which is a false doctrine. This is Matthew 24:31. Yahawashi tells us exactly what he's going to do. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. And this is talking about the salvation of the elect of Israel from all the lands we've been scattered to. You see, a salvation that's only for the elect of Israel, for the elect of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No one else is a part of that. You see? Now, as we go back to Revelation 19, we'll read verse 11 again. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. You see that? This is talking about the second coming of our Lord Yahawashi. He's coming back to what? He's coming back to judge and wage war in righteousness. This whole narrative that you've been given in the pagan church about how he's coming to love everybody and he's coming to love everybody and all you got to do is believe upon. No, man, Yahawashi is he's coming to judge. He's coming to put a lot of people to death. Let's show you that real quick. This is Isaiah 66, right? We'll start at verse 15. It reads, for behold, Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. This is talking about the second coming of our Lord Yahawashi, right? It says, what does it say he's going to do? To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. You see this? To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. To do what? For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Yahawashi is coming back to destroy a lot of people, man. He's coming back to put a lot of wicked people to death. And that includes the wicked of our nation and the wicked of you heathen. This is what Yahawashi is coming to do. Matter of fact, and let's get it in the NLT because it tells you plain out what he's coming to do. Isaiah 66:16 in the NLT it reads, Yahweh will punish the world by fire. And that's going to be the fire from what? From that chariot being shot, from that concentrated fire that's going to be shot from the chariot. So-called laser beams, right? It says what? And by his sword, he will judge the earth, and many will be killed by him. This is what Yahawashi is coming to do when he returns. A complete contrast to what they tell you he's doing, he's going to do in the pagan Christian church, you see? So he's coming to judge and make war. You see that? Who is he coming to make war with? He's coming to make war with the heathen nations. You see, let's show you that real quick. Matter of fact, we got to go here. Let's go here. We stay in Second Esdras. This is Second Esdras 13:1. It reads, "And it came to pass after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven." What is it talking about? What Ezra is seeing right here, he's seeing the second coming of our Lord Yahawashi as he comes with that gigantic chariot in the thousands of heaven. As we started out in Psalm 68, how the chariots of the Lord are in the thousands. It's an innumerable multitude of chariots, man. And that's what Yahawashi is coming back with. Because he's coming back with what? With power and great glory. You see? This whole 3-eye Atlas thing, even if it is some shit that Esau is doing, we know what is really coming. You see? We know what's really coming, man. Because we have prophecy. We have the understanding of these scriptures. You see? So 2 Esdras 13:3, it says, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him." So people are going to be afraid. People are going to be terrified. All this disrespect that's shown to our Lord Yahawashi down here on the earth, he's coming to check all that, man. You see? People just speaking madness out of their mouth toward our Lord. Not a word is going to be said about Yahawashi in that day. Because people are going to be shook at what they're witnessing. Verse 4 says, "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth," and that goes into those laser beams being shot out, it says what? "All they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire." So he's coming back with his chariots and his fire to render his anger, man. You see, as it just told us in Isaiah 66. As it tells us in Revelation 19, he's coming back in righteousness to wage war and to judge. You see this? Now verse 5 goes on to tell us that what? 2 Esdras 13:5, it reads, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." And this is talking about the nation's militaries being gathered for World War III. They're going to be gathered over in that area of Western Asia, which is the so-called Middle East, you see, to fight the last world's war. And Yahawashi, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, is going to show up on the scene. You see that? Verse 6 says what? "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." So what Ezra is saying here, that Yahawashi's chariot is the size of a mountain, man. And we know it's even bigger than that because we know Yahawashi's chariot is going to cover the entire earth. We've had imagery from NASA. We had imagery from NASA a few years back, how they had one chariot pass by one of their satellites, and they measured it, and it was 10 times the size of the earth. You see this? These are the vehicles that are out there. This is all the power of the Almighty, man. And this is how Yahawashi is coming back as he returns to the earth to establish the throne of David forever. You see this? So 2 Esdras 13:8, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight." You see that? So the Most High is going to put a spirit upon them for them to fight against Yahawashi. Even though they're going to be terrified, the Most High is going to put that spirit upon them so they can fulfill prophecy. And what are they going to fulfill? Well, according to Revelation 12, something that you pagan Christians have always gotten wrong, it goes into that war in heaven. This is talking about the mortals on the earth trying to fight against our Lord Yahawashi. You see, when he returns. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to be fighting over there in Western Asia, the so-called Middle East. And when Yahawashi shows up, they're going to turn their attention from each other to Yahawashi to try to overcome him. You see, even though they're going to be shook, even though they're going to be terrified, the Most High is going to put the spirit upon them to fight to fulfill this right here. Revelation 12:7, it reads, "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels." You see that? So this is talking about Yahawashi fighting against the mortals here on the earth. The dragon talking about Esau and his minions trying to wage war with the powers of heaven, man. And these fighter jets with their space force. You see that? Why do you think it's a coincidence they created the space force? No, man. They did that because they're going to try to fight against Yahawashi when they return. Or when he returns to Salakia. It goes on to say what? Revelation 12:8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. You see this? Because what? They're going to be taken down. This is Yahawashi coming to take back all authority, rulership, and power away from you heathen. As we've been telling you over and over again. Because you don't have an equal footing with Yahawashi and his kingdom. None of you heathen do. None of you heathen are going to be saved. Yahawashi is coming to enslave all heathen nations. As it is written, as we've been constantly going into, as we bring out the true understanding of what the Bible is talking about. Yahawashi is coming to completely disarm you heathen nations, man. You see that? So Revelation 12:9, it says, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan," which is who? Esau Edom, because he's the chief heathen in power right now. It says what? "Which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." And these pagan Christians take this as Satan being cast out of heaven. No, this is Esau being taken out of his power. You see? This is Esau having his authority in the earth revoked by the Lord. This was not talking about Satan falling out of heaven or Lucifer falling from heaven. Lucifer just means light bearer, bearer of the light. You see, Satan is in the heavens right now being obedient to the Most High's will, doing as the Most High commands him to do. Satan is under the power of the Almighty Yahweh, the chief angel on the left-hand side. You see, he's in complete order, and he will always be in that order. You see that? So this is talking about the chief heathen in the earth being taken down once and for all, and call Allah Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi for that. You see? Now, we got this. Yup, Revelation 19. Yup. Now, we back in Revelation 19. So, it tells us what? Let's read 11 again. Revelation 19:11. "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war." So, we read about the judgment part, and we read about the war part. You see that? He's coming to make war. Right? Now we go back to 2 Esdras 13. It says what? Verse 9. "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude," 2 Esdras 13:9. "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude," which are the heathen nations, militaries trying to wage war against them, right? It says, "He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests." And this is talking about what he's going to do as he unleashes those heavenly weapons from that chariot. You want an illustration of that? Go and look at Independence Day when they were standing on that roof with those signs, and that big ass blast of energy came down and destroyed them and their entire building. That's what Yahawashi is going to do to the nation's militaries over there in Western Asia as they're fighting World War III. And it goes on to further explain here in 2nd Esdras 13 and 11 that what? And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest. Right? The great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. You see that? So that's what Yahawashi is coming to do to the nation's militaries as he comes to wage war. You see that? He's coming to, because, what does it tell us in Revelation 6? Revelation 6 and 1, it reads, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. You see that? Yahawashi is coming to wage war as he comes to establish the throne of David, man. You see this? He's coming to establish the throne of David to put his people back on top. So righteousness can reign in the earth, so everything can be put under the Most High's foot. That proper order is being set up. And he's coming back with the chariots, you see, to set everything in order. Revelation 19 and 12, it says, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. You see that, though? So those many crowns represent the power and authority that he's taken away from the heathen nations, beginning with the Edomites. We just got a vision of him destroying the nation's militaries, so that completely disarms you. You see? All your fighter jets, everyone that's over there in that area of Western Asia during the time of World War III, Yahawashi is coming to destroy you. Easy, in one blast. Nothing was to be perceived but dust and the smell of smoke. You see that? Because he's coming back to take all power from you heathen, as is foretold all throughout the scriptures, man. So Revelation 19 and 12, one more time, it says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. That name written goes into what? His rank, his authority. You see? That's not being recognized down here on the earth. But very soon you will. You see, because Yahawashi is coming with power that the world has never seen before, that the world can't even comprehend. And he's coming to put the earth in subjection, a righteous subjection, man. You see that? So verse 13 says, Revelation 19 and 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So these are the angels coming back with Yahawashi in their chariots. You see that? Once again, an armada of heavenly vehicles are going to enter into this realm to subdue you mortal nations, you heathen nations. You see that? It's about to be a hostile Israelite takeover, as we always say. That's all prophetic, man. Verse 15 says, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. Who are the nations, man? The heathen. That's all the heathen. There's not one heathen that's exempt from this judgment. All the heathen are going to suffer this. And what is he going to do? He's going to rule them with a rod of iron. You see, that's what Yahawashi is coming to do. He's coming to smite the nations and rule them with a rod of iron. Let's get with that word. Let's get that word for rod real quick. And it goes into what? Rhabdos.
Strong's G, 4464. Hrabdos. Hrabdos.
Right? It says what? when applied to kings with a rod of iron, indicates the severest, most rigorous rule. So Yahawashi is coming to rule over you heathen nations with great rigor. As he comes to what? Make you bondmen and bondwomen, as is foretold to happen in prophecy. You see? As is foretold to happen in prophecy, man. This is the fate of the heathen nations. This is what Yahawashi is coming to do. He's coming to enslave all of you heathen nations, every single one of you. That's what the throne of David consists of. This is what the second coming is about. The second coming is about Yahawashi coming to fully reestablish the throne of David in the earth once and for all. And that means you heathen nations are going to be put into slavery. That's what it is, man. This is what, when you start to see the skies flooded with these vehicles, understand and know what time it is. Salaki. Understand and know what time it is. It's time for the heathen age to be ended, and it's time for the age of the Israelites to be established, man. So Revelation 19:15 it says, out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. And he have on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. You see that? This is what Yahawashi is coming to do. This, where did it go? I close it all the way out. Salaki. There we go. This right here is a foreshadowing of what's about to take place. How Yahawashi is coming back in these vehicles. It says private astronomers are catching odd things too. Yeah, because they haven't told you what it actually is in the news. Because they don't know. They're still talking about the damn asteroid. It's not an asteroid. Our government hates us. The deception is coming. They're not aliens. They're demons. They're not demons either. They're the angels of heaven, man. And this is how Yahawashi is coming back. It shows you that that these heathen, these people on these comic books, they really don't have a clue of what's about to take place. So when it happens, their minds are going to be blown to what they're about to witness. And when they're trying to go into the Strong's Concordance, it means alien and stranger. You see all this? People don't know what the hell going on. Sojourner, stranger, foreigner, alien. You don't know what the hell going on. I don't believe anything anymore that the government or its entities puts out. But it's interesting to hear the BS. Yeah, so people are on. Oh, hey, okay, listen to this. When I first heard of Atlas, I thought it was Jesus. When I heard the scientist's description of where Atlas came from, I thought it's Jesus because it matches Isaiah 13:5. When I saw the first pictures, both real and from AI, I thought it was Jesus prior to its arrival. So people know and understand that it's not a meteor or asteroid as Esau is telling them. They know something else is up. But they're talking about demons and all this other stuff. But no, man. This is a foreshadowing of the second coming of our Lord Yahawashi. You see? Like I say, even if it is Esau trying to play tricks on the people's minds, we know and understand what really comes. What's really out there in the heavens. It's Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi and his heavenly hosts, man, his angels. You see, and when these things start to make themselves, known and are no longer hidden, you're going to understand that the prophets have told you what it actually is, man. But yeah, I just wanted to go into that real quick, man. Lord willing, that was edifying to those of you who can hear and understand, the elect. So with that, I'm going to end it by giving all praise, all honor, all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rekakwadash. A double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopeful elect Akim out there, pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi has created us to do. With that, I'm going to say Shalom, Wa, Abba, Abba.